This is the Raleigh Detour-iE. It's an around town kind of an electric bike with a really nice relaxed seating position, some great fenders, rear rack for carrying stuff along, and of course the motor to help you go a little bit further, climb some hills, deal with wind, that kind of thing. And it's a fairly cool bike. I mean, it's new for 2015. Raleigh's had their regular Detour, and then when you add a drive system to it, it makes the bike so much more capable, and I guess fun maybe for people who are looking for that extra range. And I mean, I'm a big fan of electric bikes because I've had some knee issues, and climbing hills has sort of taken the fun out of it, and so it's awesome to see something like this. And they're using a drive system from Currie Technologies and TransX, a manufacturer that it's pretty solid. It's a well-established company that's been doing their own electric bikes for a long time, and by kind of sharing the best of breed drive systems and support, which is handled through Currie, you end up with something that has a solid warranty that's gonna last and perform well. You're combining like the excellence of Raleigh with the excellence of Currie and TransX. So I guess before I get too much into that stuff, I'm gonna just tell you a little bit about the bike itself. So we've got an 8-speed cassette in the rear, Shimano Acera derailleur. On the front we've got one chainring, so it's just an 8-speed total, but I do like that they've got this aluminum alloy chain guide, sort of a bash guard that's going to protect the teeth if you come into contact with a curb or something, and it's also going to keep the chain from falling off, because this bike will reach speeds of 20 miles per hour, and at those speeds, if you hit some bumps, the chain can rattle around. So it's a nice feature there. This derailleur's fairly standard, kind of middle of the run. It gets the job done, and it relies on these trigger shifters up here, real easy to reach while you're riding. And of course, they've got these awesome brake levers that actually cut power to the motor here. So as soon as you activate those, even if you're in pedal assist mode and the motor's helping you, as soon as you hit the brakes, all of that power stops. And that's a good safety feature that's kind of present across the line of these Raleigh bikes. And they're mechanical, but they use disc brake rotors here, 160 millimeter front and rear. So the benefit of this is you're going to get great stopping power. They're pretty efficient to use. Some of those old ones that kind of squeeze, like the rim brakes, they could get kind of stiff and hard. These ones, they don't get that way quite so much, and they're pretty easy to adjust, being mechanical. And they also avoid kind of contact with water and dirt and stuff. They're a little bit higher on the frame, as you can see there. So that's cool. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, we've got these matching aluminum alloy fenders, which are also going to help you deal with water. And I really like that. Overall, this is a pretty comfortable bike, but it's also a very efficient one. These wheels are 700 by 35C, so 700, that's about 28 inches, and that's standard for like road bikes and maybe a hybrid bike, which is sort of what this is. Got these riser handlebars that sort of come back, ergonomic grip, so it's real comfortable. You're going to be like upright, real relaxed, and also good visibility for spotting cars and stuff if you're riding this around town. One thing it doesn't have is sort of suspension fork, but it does have this nice big sprung saddle here that's going to add some comfort, and a decent kickstand. And then they've got these bungees on the rear rack, so you can just quickly secure something, or you could use panniers because it's sort of a standard gauge tubing size, and that also protects the battery pack in there. So again, great design overall, fairly classic design. One downside of having the battery and the motor in the rear, however, is that it's a very rear heavy bike. You lift it up and the thing kind of tends to go backwards. But for getting around town and being able to have the utility of a rack, this is a more affordable way to build an electric bike, and it's pretty proven. So, it gets the job done, and it actually frees up the middle of the frame here. If you needed to carry this around on like a bike rack on your car, you could slide that battery pack off and reduce the weight by like 10 pounds, put this on the back of your car, and you'd be set. And in the meantime, you've got access to a water bottle mount there. A lot of electric bikes are starting to put the battery here in the middle of the frame, which is good for balance, but of course it takes up that space. So I feel like they've done a good job. This bike does come in low step as well as high step. We're looking at high step right now. This is large. Comes in 17, 19, and 21 inch frame sizes for the high step. as well as 17 and 19 for the low step. So it's just cool. You know, there's a whole range of these. You can get it to fit your needs and your body type, and it, you know, it is somewhat adjustable. They got some risers there in the stem, and overall pretty good. Schrader valve, pretty standard fare, like all around. And the bike is about $2,500. Not too bad considering that it offers pedal assist and throttle mode. I'm going to get into those specs now. So the motor back here is a direct drive gearless 500 watt motor, and that's pretty sweet because it's super quiet. It's just using magnets. There's no gears inside, and it's you know, you don't hear like that kind of the grinding sound, and it's going to be more durable. And it is a little bit more heavy than a geared design. So those are some of the trade-offs that you've got to think about when you're looking at a bike like this. But it's excellent for getting around town. It's just really quiet, and it can be activated with power from this battery pack. 48 volts, 8.8 amp hours, and that's pretty solid. 48 volts is powerful, and that really complements the 500 watt motor. This is more powerful than other electric bikes. It's kind of like a little bit higher than average, which is cool. And then back to the drive modes, we do have twist throttle, which you just twist that and it goes up to 20 miles per hour, or pedal assist. You can see there's like a ring down here with magnets on it. When those magnets pass a sensor over here, they tell the motor to activate or to shut off. And there's 12 of those magnets. So this is actually kind of a higher end, more responsive setup. Again, the Detours, it kind of came out late 2014, but it's really a 2015 bike. And it's awesome. It's just kind of got everything you need except lights. There aren't really lights built into this thing. And what we're looking at here is sort of a demo model, and so the display isn't actually the right one. I have the other Raleigh bike over here. It's the Raleigh Venture, and it has the correct display. So you can see it has two legs, can kind of swivel forward and back easily. It's got a light sensor, and then the buttons are all really sleek, and they're integrated here. They're sealed with rubber, so water and debris, dust isn't going to get in there. This is really what it would look like. So you press the power button, and it comes on, and it tells you your speed, as well as what mode you're in. So there's throttle, as well as 4 levels of assist. And that's kind of cool. You've got battery level, and here's your twist throttle right there. Okay, so this bike's about $2,400, and you'll notice it doesn't have the fenders and stuff, but it does have suspension and smaller wheels. These are 26-inch wheels. So getting back to the Detour right here, this one's a little bit more, I don't know, it's like efficient for getting around town. The tires aren't quite as fat. It doesn't have the suspension, so it might vibrate a little more, but it's going to be better at smooth kind of riding on tarmac like this. So I'm going to go ahead and hop on this thing, power it up, and again, sorry that this isn't quite the proper display, but everything else here is pretty spot on. This bike's about 53 pounds total, which is not too bad given all the different, you know, add-ons with the fenders and stuff. I'm just going to start by pedaling. Oh wow, I'm in pedal assist level 1 right now, and you can really feel it just smoothly activating. And if I cycle up to 4, then I'm going to change the gears here. Whoa, yeah, it's just, wow, really good feeling. Nice, and those disc brakes doing their job. I'm going to show you what the motor looks like here on the way back. Pretty solid. It's that nice upright position. So this is the large frame with a high step. I'm about 5'9", and this feels great. You know, I'm not having to reach. My back and neck aren't strained at all. It's pretty set up pretty well. Now I'm going to try the throttle, and you can just listen for the motor. Actually, I think it got me up to about 6 miles per hour. There we go, I'm switching to throttle mode. Again, this is a different display than the normal. Almost up to 20 miles per hour. Very satisfying. Woo! So that's the Raleigh Detour for 2015. For the full write-up on this with specs and pictures, I'll see you back at the website, ElectricBikeReview.com.